If you're following me on Instagram, you know I just completed a 7-day whole food plant-based reset challenge with you guys. And during that challenge, it really reminded me how important meal prep is. On days that I wasn't particularly motivated to eat super healthy, there were all of my beans and grains and veggies just staring at me in the fridge waiting to be eaten. Meal prep also saves a lot of time. If your foods are prepped, or at least mostly prepped, putting it together the day you want to eat it should only take about 5 minutes or so. But I do know the amount of time that it actually takes to complete the meal prep is also a concern, so I want to show you guys today that it can be done both quickly and efficiently. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, wait. Actually, before you get started, one of the most important things you need to do before you meal prep is honestly to plan. So usually a day or two before I do my meal prep, I make a little plan, like a meal prep menu, and that way I know exactly what I'm gonna eat for the week. I also know what things I need to get from the grocery store. So it makes the meal prep actually a lot easier once you have it planned out. And actually, I went ahead and made one for this meal prep. So if you guys are interested in that, it has everything we're going to be meal prepping today and the recipes that go along with it, and you can get it for free. It's in the description box down below. Just click the link and you will see all of these lovely meals. So that's what I'm going to be following today, and now we can go ahead and start. So for today's meal prep, we have mushrooms, broccoli, steel cut oats, cucumbers, carrots, bell peppers, green leaf lettuce, canned pumpkin, olives, quinoa, zucchini, some beets, white kidney beans, chickpeas, and a butternut squash. Now, here's how I usually start out doing a meal prep. I always like to start with the things that are going to take the longest. And of course, while the things are cooking, the things that take a long time, you can do the smaller things like chopping veggies and stuff like that. So first off, I'm going to wash and chop and prep everything that needs to go into the oven, because those things will roast for 30 to 45 minutes. And then I'm also going to start one of the grains in the Instant Pot, because that can take a while as well. So the first thing I like to do is actually to clean out the kitchen sink, because that is where we are going to rinse all of our veggies. So I'm just throwing everything in to give it a quick rinse. And while that's happening, I'm measuring out the quinoa. This is a pre-washed quinoa, so I don't need to rinse it. You just add it into your Instant Pot with a 1-to-1 grain to water ratio and set it on manual high pressure for 1 minute. Next, I'm going to prep the veggies that will take the longest in the oven, which is the butternut squash and our sweet potatoes and carrots. So I'm just giving those a rough chop and adding them into the pan. And then I decided to make a maple miso marinade. This full recipe is in that PDF I mentioned before. So if you want that, go ahead and check the description box down below. And I like to pour on half the marinade onto the veggies before they roast and half once they come out. So just rub that into the veggies and bake at 400 degrees for about 45 to 55 minutes. And meanwhile, I'm also going to roast some other veggies with just a little bit of garlic powder. I'm roasting some zucchini, bell peppers, and mushrooms. And those can bake right alongside the other veggies. Everything roasts at 400 degrees, but the zucchini, bell pepper, mushroom pan will cook a bit faster, so just make sure you set your timer accordingly. And I'm also just boiling a pot of water on the stove for our pasta. Now, while all of those are cooking, that's when I chop the veggies. I am starting with just some cucumber. I'm going to be adding these to a pasta salad. And while all that was happening, the Instant Pot beeped, and I let it come down naturally from pressure for about 15 minutes and then just released any remaining pressure, which there really wasn't much left. I do like to let the pressure come down naturally on quinoa because it makes a nice fluffy texture for your quinoa. And now that our water is boiling and ready to go, I'm adding in the chickpea pasta, just giving it a quick stir and setting the timer for about 8 minutes for that. Then I just gave the Instant Pot a quick rinse, and now I am adding in our steel cut oats, and that will cook also on manual high pressure for 1 minute. And then just continuing to chop the veggies with everything cooking away. At this time, the first tray of roasted veggies was finished, and I just set aside a couple bell peppers as we will need them for soup later. Once the pasta finished, I just drained it and added some water back in as well as a steam rack. Now I'm just preparing the beets to be steamed, and those can steam for about 20 minutes first, and we are actually going to do a double layer of veggies on this steam basket, which you will see in a minute. So once those beets are mostly cooked, you can add in the broccoli on top because the broccoli won't take as long as the beets. Then just tearing and washing our green leaf lettuce. At this time, the second tray of roasted veggies was finished, as well as the steel-cut oats. So I'm just dividing the steel-cut oats in half. Half of them we are going to make pumpkin flavor, so I'm just adding in some pumpkin pie spice and some canned pumpkin. And then the other half of oats, I just did our usual, which is adding wild blueberries and frozen cherries. Now these are the peppers that I set aside specifically for soup. I'm just taking the skin off first, adding them to the blender, and then adding in our white kidney beans, as well as some veggie broth, miso paste, nutritional yeast, and some other spices. Setting the soup aside, and then I just quickly rinsed out the blender, added in our chickpeas, sesame seeds because I was fresh out of tahini, lemon juice, garlic, and a couple other ingredients for hummus. Making sure the lettuce is thoroughly dried, and now adding together all the ingredients for the pasta salad. And then lastly, I'm going to be making a couple dressings. This one is kind of like a honey mustard. It is just mustard, maple syrup, garlic powder, and water to thin. And then I'm also making a hummus dressing, which is just hummus and water, but of course you can also add in other seasonings to that as well. And this is the dressing that I will use for the pasta salad, and I made the vegan honey mustard for the roasted veggies. We are finally finished, and it took a little bit longer than I thought, but that is because I forgot how long it takes to roast root veggies. Those ones do take a little bit longer, but not bad overall. Let me show you guys what we've made so far. So of course we have our two dressings, just some chopped lettuce, pasta salad, steamed broccoli and steamed beets, miso maple glazed butternut squash, sweet potato and carrots, pumpkin oatmeal hummus, roasted red pepper soup, more lettuce, and of course our roasted veggies. And then over here, we have quinoa, the other half of our oatmeal with blueberries and cherries, just some plain white beans, and the leftover pumpkin. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I have prepped all of this stuff. Now, how do I put it into meals? So that is exactly why I made that download. You guys can go check that out. Again, it's in the description box down below. I just put some simple meal ideas together there that will show how to utilize all of these sides. In addition to that, I am gonna show you in this video right here how I put a couple of these meals together. So if you do think that would be helpful, definitely go check out this video. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Let's eat plants, and I will see you guys next time.